Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel John Owen Talks About Sports and Movies. Thank you for checking out today's video. I always appreciate the support. Let's get into it. So, after much uncertainty about even if we would get to this point, college football conference championship weekend is here, and I couldn't be more excited for it. So I'm gonna give my picks to the Power Five conference game, to the Power Five conference championship games, and the AAC conference championship game, which includes Cincinnati with a playoff bid on the line. Anyways, make sure you leave your predictions in the comments below who you think will win, and let's get into it. Okay, so first we're going to start off with the AAC championship game that's got Tulsa and Cincinnati in it. And so I think that this is an interesting game because if some dominoes fall, Cincinnati could potentially get into the college football playoff and would make them the first non-Power 5 conference team to get into the playoff, which would be super cool. And this is 2020, so if there's a year to do it, it's going to happen. By the way, excuse me for looking left. I just got off of work like an hour ago, and I'm really tired. But that's all right. I should be asleep right now, but the grind don't stop. Anyways, key people for Cincinnati, your quarterback Desmond Ryder. On defense is led by Garrett Dokes and Kobe Bryant, and then Luke Fiskell is their head coach. You can see the top picture for Tulsa, Zach Smith at quarterback, Keelan Stokes, and Philip Montgomery, who's also their coach. I think it's going to be a very interesting game. These teams were supposed to play last week, but they just canceled it because of Corona or whatever. And I think it's going to be a good game. It's probably going to be interesting, but I'm going to pick Cincinnati, who's motivated to keep their college football playoff hopes on the line. Next, the Pac-12. To me, this is probably the most underwhelming college football playoff or college football conference championship game, simply because there's not really any college football playoff stakes. If it's going to be weird that an undefeated Power 5 conference champion is not going to get in. I don't think that's happened before. But USC, I don't know if they're going to be. I don't know if they're the greatest team ever. Pac-12 isn't super good. They've only played like 5 games, so it's just kind of a weird year. But Pac-12, or excuse me, USC, they've got wait, how do you say his name? Wait, I'm looking at my list. Okay, Kendon Slovis at quarterback, he's fantastic. Clay Helton as their head coach versus Tyler Shaw and who's the new quarterback after Justin Herbert, and Travis Dye, who's having a good year. But I think I'm gonna pick the Trojans. I think they're the better team. I think next season potentially could be a huge one for them. I think this year is a really good building block to have Kendon Slovis back, Clay Helton, a really good a year to build off of a Pac-12 championship game, New Year's Six bowl bid, and I'm going to pick the Trojans to win as they rise back to Pac-12 dominance. All right, next Big Ten, the first game that I believe has a lot of college football playoff importance. I think this game is interesting because if Ohio State comes out and they kind of struggle with Northwestern, there's already been conversation about flipping them and Texas A&M. So even if Ohio State doesn't, or even if Ohio State wins, if they don't come out, it's not a dominant win. I feel like there's still a chance that they get flipped out for Texas A&M. So I think this is a really big game for Ohio State, simply because this would only be their 6th game, and I don't think that Texas A&M is better than Ohio State. But I must say it is way more impressive to run a 9-1 SEC slate with your only loss to Alabama, who's the number 1 team in the nation, as opposed to a 6-0 Big Ten slate. I would say the 9-1 SEC is more impressive than the 6-0 Big Ten. But I think Ohio State is a better team than Texas A&M. If you want to make the argument for either one at that spot, I'm totally game for either one. But I think in this game, I think just Justin Fields, Sean Wayne, Ryan Day, just kind of they're experiencing these big type of games is going to lead the way. I think Northwestern is a scrappy good team. Peyton Ramsey is a pretty good quarterback. Pat Fitzgerald, their coach, is excellent. He's really good. But I think, once again, I'm going to take the favorite just because I think Ohio State knows that they need a big-time win in a big-time game to solidify themselves as college football playoff people. All right, next in the Big 12, I think this is a game that also doesn't have a lot of intrigue. Iowa State, is ranked at 7, but 2 losses. I think it's going to be hard for them to get into the playoff, even if some other dominoes fall. And But I am pulling for Iowa State, and I'm going to pick them simply because I think it would be nice for somebody else besides Oklahoma to win the Big 12. I think this was a building year for Oklahoma. I think, like I predicted, they were going to be a little down this year. With Spencer Rattler at quarterback, he's super young, but Lincoln Riley knows how to coach. He's a great college football coach. I expect him to be competitive, of course. But Iowa State was one of my sleeper teams in the Big 12. I actually picked Oklahoma State, but they kind of had some issues this year. But with the three-headed monster, Brock Purdy, Brees Hall, and Charlie Colher at tight end, with Matt Campbell as their head coach, I think they're a really solid football team. I think they're going to be they're going to be in a New Year's Six bowl. But I think the Cyclones are going to win this game, and they'll be the newest Big 12 champion, and then a new Big 12 champion, which we haven't had in 5 years. Okay, next we got the ACC. I think this is going to be the best game. This is the most pivotal game to the playoff race. 2 versus 3. If Clemson wins, I believe Notre Dame will still stay in. It could be interesting, though. If they get swamped, they get smacked. I think maybe if Ohio State has a big win and Notre Dame gets smacked, do you drop Notre Dame all the way down to 5? Move Texas A&M in? I don't know. It's really interesting. That's a really interesting thing. If Clemson loses, they're out, and then oh my gosh, we're not gonna have a college football playoff with Clemson. What's going on? It'd be maddening. Way confusing. And I think that yes, I understand Notre Dame beat Clemson last time, but Clemson was missing 9 starters, including Trevor Lawrence, who's probably the best football player in America. So, with all that being considered, I do not think Notre Dame is going to get rolled. I do not think that. Despite the fact that they're 10-point underdogs, I think the game's going to be closer than that. I do believe Notre Dame is solid. They are a good football team for sure. But Clemson was missing 9 starters last time, including Trevor Lawrence, and it took double overtime for Notre Dame to beat them. So I'm going to pick the Tigers. But I do say that if Notre Dame keeps it pretty close, both of these teams will be playing in the college football playoff. And last, this is the SEC championship game. This game had a lot more hype for me personally before Florida's lost to LSU. Now that pretty much eliminates them from the college football playoff. But maybe perhaps at 2 losses, if they upset Alabama and win the SEC championship game, maybe they could still sneak in. They've got a great offense. They're super exciting to watch. Kyle Trask, Kyle Pitts, Kadarius Toney, who's pictured in the bottom right. I think they're super interesting to watch and super exciting. But Alabama is just, they're Alabama. Their offense is insane. Mac Jones has been really good this year. Big riser, Heisman contender. Devontae Smith, another Heisman contender, can be a first-round pick. Najee Harris, one of the best running backs in the nation. And their defense has caught up from their early season struggles to be a good team. There to be a good defense now. I think this is going to be a great game between heavyweight Titans. And I think this will be probably the second best game behind the ACC championship game. And I think Florida keeps it close, but with kind of their averageness on defense and Alabama's just massive explosiveness on offense, I'm going to go Roll Tide, but I think this will be a great, fun, entertaining game to watch, and we shall see. But to sum it up, my picks for the conference championship games are ACC Clemson, SEC Alabama, Big 10 Ohio State, Big 12 Iowa State, Pac-12 USC, and AAC Cincinnati. And just depending on how these games shake out, will definitely shake up how the college football playoff ends up. So thank you for watching today's video. Always appreciate the support. Make sure you check out all the link content. Leave a comment, like this video, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so you never miss out on any of the fun. You have a great day.